monsters of the internet.
And welcome to another episode of
80-bit Podsmash,
where gaming goes to grab a beer. We are your hosts,
Penguin and Termite.
And tonight we are on episode 28 episodes.
20, great!
Hey.
And today, while we're recording this, we didn't plan this. It just sort of happened because of life. We had to reschedule when we typically record. So today's recording ended up for us. We usually don't like to date our recordings.
Yeah.
But today's recording, it's Pi Day! I don't know about you, but when 159 came around, I stood up and I went, it's Pi Day!
Nice.
Because 314159. Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yes.
I was running, so I was by myself downtown, just outside in the cold. I didn't even think about 159.
Yeah.
That's smart.
That's the important one.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted pie today. Or pizza. I would have accepted pizza as well. I did end up eating. It was actually, again, not planned. I wasn't thinking ahead, but earlier in the week I had made shepherd's pie.
That's pie.
And I had leftover shepherd's pie, so I had leftover shepherd's pie for Pie Day dinner.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I still also want pizza.
Yes, me too.
I even looked up Papa John's and Domino's Facebook pages
just
to see if they had any deals. They didn't, which is stupid. That's such a waste of...
They did not?
No, they didn't. That's such a waste of a good Wednesday. Pizza on a Wednesday.
Right.
That was would have been such a advantageous time to get a good
And I get Papa John's emails all the time for some sports thing. It's 50% off your whole order.
Right?
All the time.
Yeah.
But on Pie Day, nothing.
They don't throw the nerds a bone.
They can't give a pie away for $3.14?
Oh, a small. Just a small.
No,
or
even a medium two topping.
Medium two topping.
$3.14, as many as you want.
Or 3 for $3.14. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
$3.14 each.
Yeah.
So you get a few, but that would have been.
Freeze those bad boys. Last all week. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. That's amazing. Domino's, if you're listening to this, which I'm sure you are, come on, next year Pie Day.
All of our pod smashers, please just go on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and tag Domino's and Papa John's and lambast them
just
for not having
them.
Let's get as many people as possible. Let's make this a thing.
3 weeks after Pie Day, when this podcast launches, that's when we want you to do it.
Which will be April Fool's Week, so even better.
Oh, yes, this is a plan. Oh man, we should have done something fun for April Poo.
Well, How does that go?
I don't even know. Yeah. How are you doing? You had fun getting to my house today, didn't you?
Yeah, the cops had your entire neighborhood blocked off.
It was crazy. I'm sitting here, it's 8 o'clock, and I'm trying to get a couple of Overwatch matches squeezed in before he gets here. And I got all the Overwatch matches I wanted because it was 8:30, and he's like, I'm still stuck in traffic. I'm like, what the heck?
Right outside your neighborhood. Just I could park the car on the shoulder and walk. It's so close.
Right, yeah. It's happened to me on a couple of occasions where it's right outside. It's just a, it's not it's a back road, I guess, but it's not, it's just a 2-lane road, like a regular road. There's plenty of them in Fredericksburg too. And the same thing could happen to any of those roads, but when it happens, it's extremely inconvenient because it's the only way of getting into my neighborhood. I guess that's the difference is, in town, there's multiple ways of getting to any given street, but
exactly not here. What are we drinking tonight?
Oh, we are drinking Blue Moon with a drop of orange Young Living essential oils. My wife's huge into essential oils, and she opened me up to using them to flavor water and some specific beers that go really well with citrusy flavors, such as I will also do lime with Corona.
Yeah.
And let's get a little drop of lime oil. Yeah.
I never tried that.
That's good. Yeah. Because I don't have fresh citrus fruit on hand usually myself. Because it would go bad because I don't use it often enough.
Right.
So as an alternative, it's I've got this essential oil my wife's got lying around, so put a little drop of orange in your Blue Moon, and it's just like having it at the bar.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's very refreshing. So spring's coming, even though it's kind of cold today.
Cold and windy.
Spring is on its way. A Blue Moon, I think, is just a good
one of these
good solid
nor'easting whatever bombs they call them.
The bomb storms or whatever.
Yeah, bomb storms.
Yeah, but we didn't get any freaking snow.
Yeah, we didn't get anything. A little bit of rain.
The long-term forecast people in our area were like, it's gonna be 13 inches of snow in central Virginia, and I'm like, that sounds great. One more big one before
great.
And then it fizzled out right at the end. Yeah, so no, come on. Yep. So, and now this is it. It's supposed to be 60 by the end of next week, and
springtime is here.
Spring's here. Yeah, we lost our chance. Virginia did not get any good snow. It's the third winter in a row that Virginia hasn't gotten like a good solid
Yeah.
storm, and just the snows that have happened haven't even like covered the grass.
Yeah.
Like that's just
we got nothing.
nothing this year, and nothing. I feel like since I've been in this house, I haven't gotten a good snow.
Yep.
Sucks.
Yep.
But
That's what happens in our area.
yeah, c'est la vie. Well, let's stop talking about things that aren't our favorite things, and instead let's talk about
Favorite things.
Yeah, doing this podcast is our favorite thing. Doing this podcast is our favorite thing.
You should have just went straight for the song.
I know, it was like, that's what I was,
You should have committed.
Just should have gone.
I'd have gone right with you.
All right.
I got your back.
Yeah, what's your favorite thing this week?
So, because you guys are going to get this like 3 weeks later, it's not really a big deal anymore to you now listening, but last Thursday, March 8th, Nintendo had one of the best Nintendo Directs ever.
Oh, yeah.
And I was watching this in extreme excitement, and there was a couple of beats. It was like every single person could walk away from that Direct with like one or two things they're excited about. Mm-hmm. Like it appealed to everyone, so the entirety of it all, like it might not be perfect for every single person, but like I walked away with things I'm excited about that are different from what another person would be excited about.
Right.
And I was just thinking to myself, what other medium has like that hype level, that thing that you're just like glued to watch, just to hear announcements and release dates and get so excited. Like I had goosebumps. I was like, yes, when they announced Smash for the Switch. I'm like, it finally happened. It finally is real.
It was funny because I slept through it. I was taking a nap and I slept through the announcement, and you had sent me a video chat saying that they had officially announced Smash, so I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And still, I was watching it going, like, I know this is the Smash trailer, but they had just shown a bunch of Splatoon stuff, and they went right into showing more Splatoon stuff. And it was also frustrating because they waited till the very end and faked you out, like, all right, that's our Nintendo Direct for the day.
They do that all the time.
But there's one more thing.
Yeah,
and then it was like more Splatoon. I'm like, come on, what is this? Come on, like, I want to see Smash. And then you saw the logo in the little squidling's eye, and I was like,
there it is.
Yes.
Oh! Yeah.
Yes, that's
like,
it.
When books get announced, people get excited. When movies get announced, people get excited. Teaser trailers come out and stuff. But I don't feel like anything gets like to the core of your excitement and hype level. Like gaming, and this happens every year. There's like E3.
Yeah.
There's PSX. There's Gamescom, Tokyo Game Show, Gamers Conference. Like GDC, Gamers Developers Conference. That will have already happened by the time this airs. That's next week.
Yeah.
But like every single one of these big conventions happens, and there's like these crazy reveals. BlizzCon, like people go nuts. You know, what other medium does that?
Well, and it's interesting, I know, especially with Nintendo, they're really riding this hype wave that the Switch has brought them. Like, I can't remember a time that Nintendo had this much, at least during the Wii U generation, and the late Wii stages. Like Nintendo, like nothing on the slate was like killing it. Like
the second, like the last third of the Wii's life cycle was just garbage.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
the Wii U came out and it was such a flop. Exactly. So I feel like Nintendo finally has some momentum. So I feel like the Nintendo Direct, like people are like keyed into what they're doing,
and the quality of their directs have gone up, and like what they're announcing and what they're making has gone up. Like you can really tell that they're tuned in.
Yeah, and it was just like this one in particular was just chock full. I mean, it was 2018 is going to be an important year for the Switch. Probably even more important than its first year, because now it's like, okay, the novelty has worn off. What's your game roster look like? And so far, it's pretty full. Like, I mean, I can think of a Switch release that's coming out at least each quarter that I want to buy. So that's pretty exciting. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing?
My favorite thing is my wife and I started season 2 of Jessica Jones.
Yes.
We're only 2 episodes in, but I keep, the first season was, I really hope that season 2 lives up to what the first season did, because the first season is arguably my favorite of the Marvel Netflix shows.
Oh, it's so good.
I mean, Daredevil season 1 is up there, Punisher season 1 is up there, but Jessica Jones, like, it was so good. It was such a good follow-up to Daredevil. Like, it had a good message. They're really leaning into the Me Too movement in season 2. Like, I can already tell that they're doing that. So I think it already feels like it's gonna be good, and this week has been one like thing preventing us from watching it after another. Like, I don't think we've been able to watch episodes since like the weekend. Yeah. And normally we have like, me and my wife can squeeze in like an episode or 2 in the evening.
You guys blow through shows faster than anyone I've ever known.
Well, I guess that's changing, because
we watched the pilot last night. It's awesome.
I'm
in.
Yeah,
I'm in.
I'm in. All right. Let's talk take some time. We don't normally do this segment, but we'll like to catch up
revisit
every month
touch
or
base,
so, like once a month.
will.
I think it's probably what will happen.
Touch and go.
A little touch base. We're gonna do a little segment called "What Are You Playing?"
Hey, I'm still playing Kingdom Hearts 1.
Nice.
I just want to let everybody know that I'm still playing it.
Playing it.
Yeah, I've gotten about 16 hours in the last 2.5 weeks, so it's really slow. But that's all I've been playing. I haven't played anything else, but I'm close to the end of the game. In fact, I was frustrated a little bit the other night because I was like, it just keeps going. There's so many enemies. I just want to get to the end of Kingdom Hearts 1 because I'm really, really excited to play Kingdom Hearts 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I have that whole 1.5, 2.5, HD, PlayStation, what are you thinking? Or Square Enix, why are you naming your titles?
Yeah.
Remix, final mix, whatever.
Redo.
But yeah, so Kingdom Hearts 2 is next, and I'm really close.
Nice.
What you got?
I have not really. I've been playing mostly the same things I've been playing. I touch Overwatch at least once a week, trying to get my loot boxes for the week. Still got my WoW sub is still up, so been playing a little bit of that, trying to get another character leveled up to get that heritage armor for those allied races. But I've already canceled the sub. I'm gonna let it roll. I'm gonna let it lapse because. April is my God of War month when that comes out. So I'm excited.
Are you going to
about
release
that.
day?
Probably, I think so. Yeah, I mean, I trust those games have been pretty quality, so I'm pretty confident that the game. I don't have to worry about reviews. I don't typically pre-order games, but I think I will pre-order it so I can get it day one.
Take advantage of that 20% off Amazon Prime.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
The only other game that I've added to my roster, so the only new one is this month's PS4 Pro subscription games were Bloodborne and
PlayStation Plus,
whatever. Yeah, not Pro. Yeah,
PS4 Pro is a piece of hardware.
All those stupid PS Word games. I got it was Bloodborne this month and Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, and, really good titles. Oh my gosh,
I've
Sony,
never played Ratchet and Clank. I never was a Sony fanboy, so I never played the Ratchet and Clank series. So this is me experiencing it for the first time. I've added that to my roster. I'm playing that every once in a while. I'll just pick that up and play it. It's just such a casual, fun game.
Oh, it's so good.
It feels similar to Overwatch. It feels like you're playing a Pixar movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Call out to my buddy Justin. I don't know why, but Ratchet makes me think of Justin. Like, I don't know. Maybe he, I just can't explain it. I'm like, it's my buddy Justin in the form of a little fox dude. So.
Little tidbit. Insomniac Games made that, the studio that made the game, and they released that game brand new, $40. It is totally worthy of a $60 price tag. Yeah. But they said $40.
Wow.
And I was like, that's a way to shake up the pricing industry.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, so that's what we're playing. Let's move on. We'll need like an in and out for what are we playing, and we may even need to rename it.
But... You want another jig?
Yeah, we need some other thing. Like it feels so out of place that we don't have.
You'll never see it coming.
We probably should avoid infringing on any more copyrights than we already have.
We're covering. Okay, we're good. We're covered under the covering license, right?
Let's do our next segment, which is DLC, downloadable content. Downloadable content, for those of you who aren't familiar, is a segment where we have like a little sub-discussion, a little mini-discussion. It's a time for us to talk about something that may be related or may not be related to our main topic, but just it's more of like a fun thing that we like to talk about. A little mini bit of content for you.
Just something to blow up our audio recording software, because that just pegged it.
Right. And it usually contributes to some discussion that we'll have later on Reddit, because it's usually just fun stuff that we come up with. Our fun stuff that we come up with for the week is a question: what is the hardest trophy/achievement that you have ever earned?
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm going to go to the one that I thought of first, right? That's the one, that knee-jerk reaction that you're supposed to go with when you take a multiple-choice test, right? You just go with the one with your gut. So, Shadow of Mordor, a Lord of the Rings game that came out. I don't even know when, like years ago. And I got the Game of the Year edition, and I'm playing through it. I'm going to platinum this thing. It's open world, kinda. It's not as big as like Horizon, but go collect-a-thon, just go get all the cool things, go kill the things a certain way. Like you're just checking off trophies, and you get down to the end where you have to. I don't remember the details or the specifics. I'll try to stay like enough to where I can get the gist of it behind. So you have to target these super orcs. And they become war chiefs. So like if you kill them, or if you have to let them kill you, and then they level up, because there's this whole like nemesis system where like enemies that kill you come back to life because you're a wraith, and so you're immortal essentially. And then the enemy that killed you would get like higher rank. He would rank up in the military of Mordor's like orcs ranking system. So I spent there's a trophy to get a level 25 rune. And to get that, you have to kill a war chief that has killed you. There's like all these like dings. They have to be a certain level 20. That gives you at least a level 20 or higher rune. And then the last 5 points, you have to do things in the situation to get those. So like he kills you, he has a vendetta, or you have a vendetta against him, so that level 21. And there's all these other conditions you have to meet. So I spent 3 hours in one night, one playthrough, one sitting, 3 hours setting up everything I needed to do to get that war chief to drop the level 25 rune, and someone else killed him, which means you don't get the drop. It was another like
another orc, and
because you have to you can brand other orcs to be on your side to fight you, and that's part of the process.
So an AI killed him.
You're right. To get a level 25 rune, you will have allies on your side. Like, there's no way around that. You just have to be good enough to circumvent them. 3 hours wasted. I have never been so angry. And it was the last trophy in the list to get a platinum trophy. So I don't know which trophy is the harder one, the platinum or that one, because the platinum requires you to get. So I finally did it on a different night after I had calmed down. It did take another 3 hours to set up the second attempt, but it was successful. So 6 hours for one trophy. And I know there's other ones out there in the world that are way worse, which we'll get to later. But that was the one that's my hardest trophy, and so I put a little feather in my cap on that platinum.
Yeah, as we'll get into in the episode, my experience with achievement systems is mostly through World of Warcraft. I haven't really messed with them on consoles, but that's partially because I'm new to console gaming anyways. So maybe down the road, we'll see. Anyways, that's all just a caveat to say. In World of Warcraft, I don't know which one I want to... There's two that come to mind. One that I just got.
I was going to say that one you talked about on the podcast, so our Podsmashers might be aware of it.
No, I haven't talked about this yet because I literally just got it like a week ago.
Oh,
I got the 200. I got the 200 mount achievement.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, which is it basically requires you to get rare mounts that drop off of bosses, which means you have to just fortunately you can usually run them solo now if you're a couple expansions behind. Or if you're a couple expansions ahead of the content. So I've been doing that just off and on for years now. I'll resub up, and then I'll run these old raids over and over again on multiple characters, trying to get those drops. I finally got it because there was a quest chain in the new expansion that ended in a mount. I had to do it anyways for one of the other goals that I wanted to do. So I was like, boom, 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 knocked all that out. Still, on one of my characters, it's different on each character because some of your characters have class mounts.
Yeah.
And the one that I have, one of the characters I have is a paladin, and paladins just happen to have a little bit more class mounts than everybody else. So I got this one from the quest chain, and then I still wasn't there yet, and I wasn't even thinking about it, but I logged on to my paladin character, and it was like, achievement unlocked, you got 200 mounts or whatever, and so I got the blue dragon hawk, which puts me out. It's a mount is the reward, nice. You get a cool armored dragon hawk looking thing. So I was like, so that's just hard just due to the sheer amount of time that I put into that, the sheer amount of it's not. I mean, you say 3 hours, and I'm like, ha ha ha.
Yeah, I mean that's like a lifetime.
Yeah, exactly.
If you were to go from nothing to 200 mounts, how long would that take?
It was forever. It would take years. I mean, just ridiculous. So that's probably actually the legitimately hardest one. But the one that felt hardest in the moment was I recently did the Mage Tower quest in the new expansion. What they are is they unlock a appearance. So in my case, I wanted to unlock the werebear appearance for the druid.
One I was talking about.
Because it looks just like the werebear from Diablo 2, kind of.
Yeah.
And it's your new bear form, so I really wanted to unlock that. It comes with an achievement, I'm sure, so it counts, I think, in this case, because it comes with an achievement, even though it's not quite like the other achievements. It's still just a cosmetic reward, but the thing you have to do is you have to solo this boss. It's like WoW's attempt at, or Blizzard's attempt at giving us some quality solo content.
Yeah.
And... it took me 2 hours of just straight attempts, and I finally got it. When I finally got it, I was shaking. It was ridiculous. So, I think I have talked about that one on the podcast before. So, those are the two that come to mind. Both WoW, both ridiculous. Just, there are probably other ones, but those are the ones that come to mind. Yeah. That's our TLC for the day. Let's move on and talk about our main topic, which you guys may have already guessed, is we're talking about achievements and trophies.
Woohoo! Which is Termite's favorite thing.
His favorite thing about gaming is achievements and trophies, as I say as I roll my eyes.
Yep. So I guess we can jump right in. We can talk about what are they and their history. We'll start with that. Just kind of a brief overview.
So I found a little bit of research while starting this because for what we're talking about, the achievement formal multi-platform achievement systems, those came in the form of 2005 when Xbox 360 started their achievement system. However, when I looked this up, there was a little fun thing in 1982. Activision really, planted the seeds in the gaming industry with they had the system where if you got a game and opened up the manual, they would have a list of high scores that you could get to. So the idea was when you got one of these high scores, you'd take a picture and send it into, mail it into Activision. Again, this is 1982.
So you have like a Polaroid.
Yeah, exactly. You take a picture of it, you send it, you mail it in, and they'd mail you back a little patch, like a Boy Scout badge.
That's awesome.
You'd sew it onto your clothes or your backpack or whatever.
Wow, and, that's so cool.
Essentially, it was an achievement system because they would list, okay, these are the milestones that you need to hit to get a badge.
Yeah.
And, but again, there was no internet, there was no. You could
actually touch the badge.
Yeah, you actually got it, you earned it. It was a physical thing that you got. I wish that they still had that.
It'd be amazing.
Like Activision, if you earn the trophy or achievement in game and then send a screenshot, I wish they would send you a badge or something.
And sometimes you get an email if you got a platinum trophy. You get an email from Sony saying, "Oh, hey, free theme.
Good for you."
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, but so that was just kind of a fun one. It's not actually an achievement system in the way that we know it.
That's totally that's valid.
But it's kind of like I'm sure it planted the seeds in people's mind, like, oh, how can we do this? Or they might have looked back on it and been like, oh yeah, that was a cool way of rewarding players. Let's just do that digitally. Mm-hmm. So, but yes, fast forward to 2005.
Yeah, the Xbox 360 release.
The Xbox 360 release.
So Xbox Live was in its infancy as 360 kind of took it from the Halo 2 era, which was the original Xbox, and in the process of hyping up the 360, the next console coming out, one of the things they listed were these achievements, and they kind of touted it as, we see gamers going out of their way to get everything in a video game, and we want a way to reward them. So when that came out, with the 360, your Xbox Live account had a thing called Gamer Score. And so you could do these things in the game that would reward you with a number. And that number would be totaled across all games onto your Xbox Live Gamer Score, your account. So if you hit up someone, say, hey, hit me up on Xbox Live, we'll be friends. On your friends list, you'd be able to scroll through all your friends and see their Gamer Score. Yeah. And so it was kind of like this muscle strength of how many games you played or how much stuff you've gone through, and you could go through to each person's account and check out the list of games that they played and all the stuff that they did in it. It was so novel and
and no one had ever done that. There's to be clear to our listeners there who may not be familiar with the system, there's absolutely no value that achievements have apart from
we're gonna get there too.
Essentially bragging rights. It's literally just a thing that says you did this arbitrary goal. So most of the time, most of the time they look like kill 50 orcs or get this rare gun, whatever the game is. It's usually just some kind of thing that it's an achievement. It's just a thing that says it pops up and goes, you did this thing that so they just kind of record things as you go. But I just want to make sure that we're clear on that point for our listeners who might be thinking that it's some kind of
I think it's worth it
in-game reward or that you get some the points matter or the points no,
especially when they launched Xbox did nothing to reward anyone for that. They've evolved it since then, and we'll talk about it in a minute. So Sony caught wind of this. The PlayStation 3 came out I think it was a year later, 2006, I believe, and they didn't have anything like that at all. And so for a while all these PlayStation games were coming out, but the Xbox versions of them had these achievements, and the PlayStation versions had nothing. Well, Sony came out with an idea to create trophies, and with that, you have 4 layers of trophies: your bronze, silver, gold, and platinum.
This was, I believe, 2008 is the date that I saw that when they rolled this out.
Yeah, it'd be 2 years after the console launch. So they retrofitted a lot of their older titles with it, with an in-game patch to add the trophy support to those games. And instead of a number that Microsoft would assign 1,000 points per game, roughly. I mean, things have changed a lot since then, but we're talking about the history.
Yeah,
so
the old school times,
the most you could get from any game at launch was 1,000 points, and that's if you did absolutely everything and you devoted your game to that. Well, Sony had their version of that called a platinum trophy. And to get that, you had to get every single trophy in the game, and then you got platinum. And even better, your account has a level, and each of the trophies is worth, all the bronze are worth points, the silvers are worth points, gold's worth points, and the platinums are worth points. I believe it's 15, 30, 60, and 180. 15, 30, 90, and 180. So 15 for your bronze, 30 for silver, 90 for gold, and 180 points for platinum. And that would total an experience as your account levels up. And so as you go higher in level, it takes more trophies to go higher. Yeah. It's kind of an exponential graph scale. So the higher the level, you really know people are putting in the work. So with Xbox, you log in, you see a number. Okay, 30,000. Or with PlayStation, you see level 14, and then you see like how many platinum trophies they got as a call out separate from the rest of their trophies.
Yeah.
So like with Xbox, if I wanted to see how many games you 100%ed, I would have to scroll through your list and find the ones that say 1,000 out of 1,000. Or you could just check my PlayStation list and see 10 platinums.
Boop. Yeah.
So I think they did it better. I think the Sony one is a whole lot better. But they came late to the party, had to retrofit their games for 2 years, and it took a while for them to gain traction.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the history of the achievement. That's the foundation of the achievement systems that we know today.
Yeah, and then there's some single game achievement systems. You see them, pretty much all Blizzard games have achievement systems that are specific to their games. So Overwatch has achievements, Diablo has achievements, World of Warcraft has achievements. I would say the biggest difference that I've noticed with Blizzard's achievement systems are, there are specific achievements that also have in-game rewards.
Yeah.
Usually, again, almost always cosmetic. It's almost always like a rare mount, or a toy, or a tabard, or something like that. Things that don't actually give you stats or boost they're just prestige things that you can show off. So I get to show off my cool armored Dragonhawk mount for everybody.
So as you're flying around, everyone knows you got 200 mounts.
200 mounts, exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of the twist that some Blizzard games. Overwatch and Diablo have the same thing. You get pets, or you get transmogs in Diablo for it. In Overwatch, you get sprays. I don't think there are any skins that are tied to achievements.
So mostly loot boxes, right?
Yeah, it's almost always loot boxes. They do have sprays, though, that are... So, like, when in-game before you are fighting, you can, like, spray a wall. Like,
yeah.
And they have some...
That started in Counter-Strike.
And so they have sprays, unique sprays for some of the achievements. So it's very... Overwatch is still fairly in its infancy, so I don't think there's a lot. They might do more as they go, but yeah, those specific in-game... I think a lot of... I'm sure there are more games that have examples of achievements than that. Actually, another one that comes to mind is there's a really cool indie game for the Switch called Crawl, which I still want to play with you and the guys at some point. And it's got its own in-game achievement system too, as kind of just a side note, because the Switch doesn't have a formal achievement system.
Yeah, Nintendo consoles never have. Like, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Some of the third-party things, like you said, Crawl is an indie game that has...
exactly.
But there's no Nintendo achievements. Yeah, that's interesting.
Which we might talk about by the end. So, but let's move on. I'm sure you have things you want to talk about.
So do they matter? What's the appeal of these things? Why do we care? And I kind of want to talk about the evolution of them as well. So and I'll start with the evolution of the trophies and what they look like today, and how they've evolved, and we'll go into, do they matter? So with Xbox, there's now Xbox One and Xbox One X, and there's PlayStation 4, PlayStation VR. There's all these other consoles in the families. So I kind of look at them as ecosystems. So with Microsoft, you have Xbox 360, Xbox One, and you have some PC games that are cross-play. All of those now feed into your major gamer score. So when it first came out, it was just 360, but now it's spread across all their current platforms.
Yeah.
And with that, they've changed the 1,000 points per game kind of thing, because DLC comes out and they'll add more achievements to the game. Funny note, I just logged into a website that tracks your achievements, and it popped 6 or 7 Gears of War 4 achievements that I had gotten that they patched in September, but never actually popped until someone looked at it, and I haven't looked at my achievements since September. I've played Xbox since then, but I haven't looked at my achievements, so I thought that was pretty funny. And then same with PlayStation, so PS3, PSVR, PlayStation 4, PlayStation Vita, they all have the same trophy system. They're all tied to your single account. And with that, now, when you unlock certain platinums, as I said, sometimes you'll get an email that'll come with a free theme for your PlayStation 4 that you've unlocked. So they've kind of juiced up the rewards a little bit. Nothing like Blizzard does. I wish there was more.
Still, I mean, still in the same vein, though. Yeah. It's like, it's cosmetic things that you get to enjoy and appreciate, and that people, if they come over and see your PlayStation theme, they'll go, well, that's a cool theme. Where'd you get that? Oh, I got it from an achievement or a trophy. Yeah.
And I love that they're continuing this trend into, like, the future consoles where, like, you have this single account that's just across the whole ecosystem, and it doesn't matter what you're playing.
So you don't have to re-earn. Yeah,
right.
I was going to say, you don't have to re-earn your achievements. That is a good thing, developers. Yes. Continue that.
Yeah, and you don't lose anything. So it's not like, I've moved on to PlayStation 5, now everything I've done in the PlayStation world doesn't matter anymore. Right. Well, it does. It'll roll forward, and your levels will continue.
Yeah, that's extremely good, because the last thing people want to do is just because they buy a new console to play new games, they don't want to lose. They don't want to feel like they lose their progress. It's the same thing in WoW. Like, they're account bound, so... if you're starting a new character, you have the achievements. You only have to earn them on one character. Now, it's cool because if you do certain things, they'll still pop for the new characters. But if there's any in-game reward, like that mount, I'll be able to use it on all my characters without having to earn 200 mounts over again, because my mounts are account bound. So that's all just to say, like, as developers, I'm glad that I don't know if there was ever a time that didn't happen, but that would be a huge concern for me if that wasn't the case.
Yeah,
you know, like I can't ever think of a time that wasn't the case. I think in WoW early on, you actually had to like they were
with
only
each character.
their character.
Yeah,
bound.
it was.
Yeah. That first came out. I want to say Wrath of the Lich King. So
Yeah.
that would have been 2008,
2009.
2009. Yeah. So they had been inspired by the Xbox and PlayStation achievement systems,
Right.
and decided
And
to roll it into WoW. I believe at the very beginning,
it was
they were
character bound.
character bound,
Yeah.
so you had to re-earn them on other characters.
Yeah,
that's
silly.
Extremely, really frustrating.
Yeah.
So
do they matter? Like, what's the point of these things? Why do we care? Practically, they don't matter in the least.
yeah.
They don't, like you said earlier, they don't give you anything. There's no in-game rewards. Sony did just come out with, like, if you get 50 bronze trophies, they'll reward your Sony rewards account with points that you could use to get games, but it would take an astronomically amount of trophies to get one free game. It's insane. So it's basically pennies to 100 trophies or something. It's nothing. So I wouldn't even count that. It's so little. But yeah, there's no real reward or appeal benefit to it. You can't spend it, like you said, cosmetic rewards only. It's just your bragging rights, right? So one cool thing that I think is appealing that does matter is it introduces like a metagame to gaming. So it's like you're playing PlayStation, you're playing Xbox, you're playing Steam.
Right, yeah.
And it doesn't matter which specific title you're playing. It's just like you're making progress in this ecosystem.
Yeah.
And that drives me forward like crazy. And it keeps me going when I'm not feeling up to finishing a game, or like, it drives me forward to do more in the game. And we'll get to those benefits later too. But it's just kind of the appeal now and why they matter.
Yeah, I see, as someone who doesn't trophy hunt, as someone who, again, my experience is limited to World of Warcraft pretty much in regards to achievement hunting, a little bit in Diablo as well, but like for me, they're always, again, the achievements are always secondary to the rewards that they give, the in-game rewards. So I'm like, I want that mount, or I want that title, or whatever, and so I'll go after the achievement only for the sake of getting
the reward,
the thing.
Yeah.
So again, I don't really, as someone who does an achievement hunt, like I can say, I think the appeal that I can imagine, it lies in the fact that as a gamer, I like to think that I'm getting the most out of my money that I spend for a game. So if I buy a $50, $60 game, I want to make sure that, it's worth that cost for me, because money's valuable. I could use that money to buy a board game, or I could use that money to go
see a movie.
Exactly.
Movie
or
pass
get
aside.
Taco Bell.
Right.
So that's a lot of Taco Bells for one game. So I want to make sure that I get a lot of Taco Bells worth of enjoyment out of my game. Achievement systems, trophy systems, they set benchmarks, and so for someone who wants to feel like they've completed a game, if you platinum a game, you have completed that game in all sense of the word. You've done all of the possible, you've done it on all the hardest difficulties, you've unlocked or found all of the nooks and crannies in the game, you've explored everything, you've conquered everything. That is, I think, a legitimate way of saying, I have completed this game, I have done this game, I've gotten my money's worth out of it. So I definitely can see the appeal there. For me, I don't quite think I have to do all those things to, feel like I've accomplished the game. I guess that makes me a casual, but
I would say it's more of a personality thing.
Exactly,
not necessarily a casual versus hardcore thing.
No, because some, again, there are some achievements where it's like, oh yeah, do all of this story content, and in those cases, I'm like, yeah, I want to get the most out of the story content, so I'll do all side quests or whatever. That became a problem in The Witcher. There's just too many side quests.
The Witcher's nuts.
Yeah, but there are other games where the achievements are arbitrary things, like get a perfect score in ARM, get 5 perfect games in a row or something like that, what I mean, where it's just not, I don't feel like I'm missing anything.
You're just gnashing teeth and
exactly. I'm not missing anything content wise by not getting that achievement.
Right.
So that's where it kind of breaks down for me, is like, but I do see the appeal. I'm like, yeah, I've done it all. I've done the whole thing. I've 100%ed it. That's extremely valuable, I think.
And I'll actually shape my entire playthrough across a new title. When a game comes out, before I start playing it, I go look at the trophy list, and I try to optimize the amount of trophies I can collect before I start playing in one playthrough, to optimize the time. So that way I'm not playing through a game 2 or 3 or 4 times when I could have only played it through once if I had just set some setting at the beginning. A good example of that is South Park, The Fractured Whole. Is you can start off as a black kid on the hardest difficulty, because those 2 trophies are sort of missable. If you're not a black kid and you're not on the hardest difficulty and you beat the game, you can't get those trophies, so you'd have to play through the entire game again, right?
Yeah.
So I would look at it first, analyze, make sure I make all the right choices at the right times. This gets insane. So like Persona 5, there's day cycles, and you can only have limited amount of actions per day. So people have online created spreadsheets about all of the options you're supposed to pick and the actions you do each day to make sure you get the platinum trophy in one playthrough.
Oh, nice.
But the whole game is based on the mechanic of you're supposed to do what you want.
Yeah.
Like, and it completely takes all of that away because you're following a rubric that someone else has already done, and you're not really enjoying the game for what you want. You're just trying to get the trophies. So I can see like that aspect. But I fall right into that camp where I don't like low percentage trophy games to show up on my list. So if you look at my profile on PlayStation or Xbox, I hate anything that's like a super low percentage. Like I redboxed a game, I threw it in, I got the tutorial done, one trophy popped, and then I'm done. I hate that. It drives me crazy. So like I want to be able to make sure I get as many trophies in a game as possible before I move on to the next one.
Yeah.
And so that actually will stop me from playing new games. So I'm backlogged to 6 games. I'm not touching any of them until I'm done with Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Then I'll move on to the next one, and then the next one. So it's one game at a time.
Yeah, I will say another thought that's come to mind in regards to, like, do they matter? Kind of big picture, like, why should we care about achievement systems in games? I do think, even if you aren't an achievement hunter, even if you don't care about trophies, at the end of the day, I think that it's forcing a level of creativity on the developers. Yeah.
You're jumping ahead.
I am jumping ahead? Okay, yeah. I do think that... Okay, then I'll just be brief then and just say that I think that, it's causing developers to be a little bit more creative with the mechanics and stuff they introduce in the games because they have to think about trophies in mind. And it's also, again, developers are appealing to a wider variety of personality types. So even if you personally don't like achievements, you don't have to do them. You know what I mean?
There's no real reward tied to them.
Exactly.
So you're not missing out.
No one's saying that you have to do them. So again, like, who cares if other people do? Like, let them play the games how they want to play them. And in this case, it's like, at least developers understand that and are trying to cater to those people people like Termite who want to get all the achievements. So cool.
All right, let's go in. So I like my bad news first. Yeah. Whenever I'm given the choice. So let's start with the negative effects of the fact that trophies and achievements exist. The negative effect that has on games.
Yeah. Why do trophies suck?
Yeah, like what's wrong with them?
Yeah.
So the first thing I was thinking, they can take away from the experience of a game as designed by the writer or creator. And the perfect example I have of that is Uncharted. So if you were to pick up Uncharted for the first time, that game is made to have a specific storytelling beat as far as rhythm and pacing and how fast things are supposed to progress and how the player engages in the system of the game and like your immersion, getting to know the characters and the encounters, like fights and stuff. If you play that game on the hardest difficulty to get that trophy on the first playthrough, it wrecks all storytelling. It's literally like reading a chapter in the book over and over and over and over and over again because you die so much.
Yeah.
So if you're playing on the hardest difficulty, there's this action scene where you're getting shot at, but you're not supposed to die. Like, they were supposed to miss you. But if you're on the hardest difficulty, you die in one shot. They hit you, you're done. So the whole scene, the whole sequence, everything that's built up to it is wrecked. And you're re-seeing it again and again and again. So that's a very negative aspect of trophies. Is like trophy hunters like that are wrecking their story and the experience the writers had in mind.
I imagine, that was the decision. That was probably the biggest reason why the Switch didn't launch with a trophy system. So even if they go back and add one, like... Yeah. Because can you imagine Breath of the Wild trying to accomplish whatever arbitrary trophies they're going to come up with that game?
It would not be the same at all.
It would absolutely not be the same at all. Because not only would it kind of like give, if you're looking through the trophy list, not only would it kind of give things away.
Spoilers.
It's also like that's not what the game is about. The game is about pure, unadulterated exploration, like childlike wonder of going, I want to see what's on top of that hill. I want to see what's over that mountain. I want to see what's in this forest. And an achievement system would have completely, I wouldn't say completely ruined the game, but it would have certainly altered certain people's playthroughs.
It would have hamstrung it.
Yeah.
Like, it really would have been like hand-holding and immersion breaking. And that's not
what it would have been for.
So, Type A players like myself, who are worried about their percentage completion and statistics and all that crap, kind of takes you away from playing games altogether. So like there's cool little indie titles or something that are really, really good that I'll never touch because I'll never have the time to get any trophies in them. And so like I'm I have sat on a copy of Persona 5 since before Christmas. It's March. And I haven't touched it yet because I know how big of a beast it is, and I don't want that low percentage sitting on my profile. I kind of also don't want to do the spreadsheet thing. But it's a stupid, like, subconscious thing. I'm dumb, like, self-control. I could just do it, right? Just get over it and get over that hump. But it's just enough of a hindrance to actually, like, stop me from playing it.
Yeah,
it's favor a different game over it.
Yeah, it's people with that compulsion. It's like, okay, yeah, on the one hand, you probably can control that in yourself.
I could.
But on the other hand, it's still a hindrance. Like, if you include a bunch of arbitrary trophies in your game, and I'm looking through that trophy list, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that. That sounds tedious.
Right, and then you look at, like, Tomb Raiders. I haven't played that yet. But the trophy list is way more manageable and easier, and I can progress. I can get a platinum way faster in Tomb Raider than I can in Persona 5. So, like, that completion appeal is way easier with Tomb Raider.
Exactly.
So it's a hindrance.
Certain games are going to be more attractive based on their trophies, as opposed to just based on the merit of the gameplay itself.
Yeah, exactly, and that's not a good thing. That is
arguably not a good thing. Exactly.
Right. Trophies can result in trash games being developed that only exist for the sole purpose of getting a really fast trophy or achievement system. So there's a game out there called My Name Is Mayo, and it's a 45-minute clicker game for PlayStation. The sole purpose is a platinum trophy in 45 minutes, and it's $1. So if I wanted to, if I was that, like, into trophies, I could just go into the store, pay $1, spend 45 minutes in one night, and have a new platinum.
You see, someone like me wants to troll you by getting that game,
right? And then go do
platinum, like, oh, I got my first platinum.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, then there's the last negative point that I have is, like, games like that existing kind of diminish what little value trophies already have.
Yeah, there is a way to abuse it and troll the system, troll people. Like, on the one hand, I look at that and I say that's essentially satire. It's satirizing.
It is, and that's exactly what it is.
It's in the same way that the to bring up Zelda, of course, in every podcast,
everyone
Breath of the Wild does the same thing, except in the opposite extreme. They have their 999 Korok seeds you have to collect, and the reward you get is a literal steaming pile of crap.
Yep.
It's called Hetsu's Gift, but it says it smells kind of funny, and the picture looks like a little Japanese swirly turd.
Yeah, like the poop emoji.
Yeah, exactly. The whole thing is it's a satire on the collecting of useless crap in video games. So that's kind of it's the opposite extreme. You still have to devote hours and hours of time to get almost 1,000 Korok seeds. But, you know, I think I see it as sort of the other extreme of the My Name Is Mayo game where, you know, I guess it doesn't diminish the value of trophies, but it's funny because there is no trophy. Literally, they just give you a piece of crap. So, like, in a way, it's still satirizing. I still see it as sort of satirizing the idea of trophy collecting, but I see what you mean by, like, well, but if you get a platinum in that, you know, what PlayStation's not going to distinguish between that and any other platinum trophy, so it's still going to show up as a platinum on your list. So it's like, why not devote 45 minutes and get yourself a platinum?
Right. And then you have people like my brother, shout out to Tommy, what up, who got a platinum in Final Fantasy 12. It took him over 100 hours.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And, like, that's a legit platinum to have. You see that on his list, you're like, dude, that guy put in some work, right? And that dude's got a platinum on My Name Is Mayo. He spent $1.
Me, I'm doing it. I'm going to go get My Name Is Mayo and play it tomorrow.
That'd be hilarious. There's another game, I don't remember what it's called, but it's like flipping through HD images of, like, desktop wallpapers. So it's like flowers.
That's it. I'm just going to find a guide.
You just flip through that. Like, there's no order. Like, you just flip through it and you get a platinum. Like, just to see it.
I'm going to find a guide of all the ridiculously easy platinums until I can get 10 and match you and be like, I've got 10 platinum trophies too.
That would be so low. And then I have to tell everyone to actually look at your profile.
Nope. No one has to know.
All right, so now it's time for the good news.
Yeah,
what are some positive things that trophies
do?
And achievements bring to gaming in general? And you touched on it, one, where it allows the developers to reward players for doing something extra. It's enticing for developers to add extra Easter eggs, little pieces of lore, hide some things, or, like, do a little something extra.
Yeah, I mean, again, to go back to the Breath of the Wild paradigm there, like, that every inch of that gigantic map is full of stuff to do.
And they did it without the trophy or achievement system.
And they did it without the trophy and achievement system. They did it just to reward you with a pile of crap. Like, they just put so many little tiny puzzles in the game for your and where their intention was for you to enjoy them as you stumbled across them. And that's just one example. Like, think of all the games that have introduced interesting mechanics because they're like, oh, we want you to do this 100 times. Like, or we want you to do this, you know, in such a way that a lot of achievements that I've done and trophies and stuff that I've done, even in WoW, like, they've been fun to do. Like, some of them
it takes a good developer to look at trophies and do them right.
Yeah, some of them are tedious and some of them are obnoxious and some of them are stupidly frustrating for no reason. Other ones are like fun mini games in and of themselves, and when done well, like again, I think it's contributing to innovation. Like developers are actually deciding, like they're thinking about it in mind of like what kind of challenges can we create with the mechanics and the tools that we've given players. What can we do to sort of make this? The fact that it's so prolific now is coming into play in the development process, and that's interesting because I think it's resulting in innovation. So even even non-trophy hunters can still appreciate the innovations I think that it's resulted in the gaming industry.
One of the best trophy lists of any game ever made is Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh,
it's absolutely perfect.
That is the one that I was looking through and saying to myself,
that's doable.
I want to do that because
that's doable
because the mechanics of the game are so fun. Like if I have to go hunt down 20 crocolisks or whatever they're called, the croc ones. I think it's I haven't played too much WoW. That's the WoW name.
Maw mashers or something?
Yeah, whatever they're called. Like if I have to go hunt them down and like strip the hunting grounds or whatever they did.
Yeah.
I think there was achievements connected to that as well.
Yeah, you do them all.
The hunting grounds were awesome. Like I thought they were so stupid. I was like, I have to knock off how many components of what from the deer robots, like. But then I did them, and I was like, that was so much fun.
And the cool part is, like, if you fail at it, you know why.
Yep.
You know exactly what you did wrong. There's no gimmicks. There's nothing stupid or frustrating. It's just like, next time I got this.
Yeah.
And then you do it again and fail again. And you're like, I didn't expect that. And it's like, I know why I did. And it's so cool to see that gameplay loop.
Very good. Yeah, exactly.
So I love that developers are hiding things from you. You can see different landscapes, different art is exposed through trophies and achievements and stuff. That's awesome. So then there's like fighting game things I'm thinking of, like doing cool moves, combos or attacks.
Yeah.
So players are encouraged to do a little extra, experiment more, like combinations they wouldn't normally put together.
Yeah, there's an Overwatch achievement for one specific character who can wall ride. So they kind of took the Titanfall 2 mechanic of like wall jumping or whatever, and they put it in Overwatch for one character. His name's Lucio. He has one achievement that's I'm waiting for the stars to align so that I can get this.
Yeah.
But you have to kill 3 players while wall riding.
Wow.
Now, he doesn't have a very powerful attack, so the only way you can do this is to wall ride. He has a knockback effect, and the players affectionately refer to it as booping.
Yeah.
So you have to boop 3 players off of the map in very specific areas while wall riding. There's only a few maps where it's actually feasible to do it. So, like you said, just like pulling off a really cool move, but if you can do it, you get an achievement. You get a little spray to go along.
That's cool.
With
Like
it.
no one would ever think to do that without the achievement to kind of guide you in that thought process.
Exactly.
So now you have that installed in your brain, and you know you're looking out for that situation to occur.
Exactly. Yep.
And like that's cool. That's a good thing. I think it's kind of fun because normally that would happen. Just being able to encourage players to actually finish games. Like sometimes you just you get burnt out and you don't want to finish the story, but there's that little achievement at the end just to give you that last push.
The last little dopamine rush.
Yeah, and at first when achievements came out, I thought it was kind of stupid to have achievements for story content. You beat chapter 1. And because I was like, you're going to beat chapter 1 anyway. How is that an achievement, right? You're going to go do that anyway. But then I thought later, I was like, it actually entices you to keep going because you get that little like, okay, I got the trophy. And move on and get the next one.
And they're designed in such a way that they give you a little dopamine rush. You know, exactly. The screen flashes and it says, or it goes, and I love, as a side note, I love some of the achievement names are almost always sometimes they're puns or they're titles of other things that
Borderlands ding when you level up. That
exactly.
came from WoW because everyone would be like ding or
ding,
any MMO actually.
There's the ones that I've been going for, the mount ones in WoW. They're things like Mount-tacular or Lord of the Rains, and they're all to do with mounts and stuff. But they're just like funny little like
puns.
Puns and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
And then you think of Nier Automata. So I know they have a trophy thing. You can just buy all the trophies at the end of the game. Like you can do that when you play through it all.
Oh, I didn't know that, but
there's 3 playthroughs in Nier. You might not be encouraged to finish the second or third one, which have really good story content that actually really change it, but you might not know that. So going into it, you beat the game and you're done, but you see these trophies that encourage you to replay the game again.
Yeah.
You fire it up, you're surprised and delighted by what you've seen and what's changed and different. You might not do that without a trophy to get you there.
Exactly.
So that's why it's good for gaming in that regard. And then there's one other point I want to do, and it's the opposite direction. So the developers have been pleasing and delighting the gamer but the gamer can actually pay its respect back, his or her respects back to the developer by getting a platinum trophy or by 100%ing a game, because it kind of shows the developers who can see who's unlocked what. I mean, all this stuff is online. You're completely public if you allow it to be. You can change it to private. But like a developer can go out and be like, how many people got a platinum in my game? And that's really cool. It's like, wow, these people really appreciate what I've given them. And they really went through and above and beyond and saw everything we've laid out and got these platinums and these 100%. So it's kind of a way, like, this game is so good, I'm going to platinum it. Horizon Zero Dawn's like that. It's like, I need to platinum this game before I move on.
Yeah.
Because I want to show Guerrilla Games that they've created something amazing, and they went out of their way to make a good trophy list. I went out of my way to accomplish it. So it's really cool to like have that two-way communication.
Yeah, I was trying to do some research and find some I wanted to see some
Statistics?
Yeah, that's the word. I've been trying to, when we do topics like this, especially ones that I don't initially, cling to, I wouldn't describe
Termite
this as
topics.
a penguin topic. Yeah, I would describe this as a termite topic. What interests me is, like, I want to see what the overall trends are. Like, I want to see those stats and see what trophies are like. And I could not for the life of me. Everything I looked up was like, here's a website to track your own statistics. Like, it was all personal based. But I wanted to see, like, how many trophies. The closest thing I could get was I found a financialpost.com article that they did, the author did a brief survey of just, like, basically going through and looking at games, like, individual games to see what and he kind of averaged together some, and he came up with an average of about a quarter of gamers actually finish games. Yeah. Like, only about 20, he said 28%, an average of 28.7% of gamers actually finish the games that he surveyed. And so that's only a quarter of people who are actually finishing games, and that means getting the achievement that says, like Termite was saying, you have finished the game. Yeah. And then even fewer of them, I think it was an average, I don't remember what the exact number is, but it was close to 1% of gamers actually get platinum trophies. Yeah. So that's a very small number of people who are actually finishing and kind of maximizing the games. So yeah, you're right. I mean, I think that developers appreciate most the dollar that you spend on their game. But but you're right, you can kind of go that extra mile and say, like, yeah, no, I'm one of the 1% that actually wanted to get the most out of this game because I thought it was great.
It's the one aspect of gaming that I don't think is tied to money or return on investment or any of that stuff. It's like, it's the point of gaming, of like creativity and art that is fleshed out by trophy systems.
I gotcha.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Just so a side note, I use psnprofiles.com. And I track all of my trophies and all of my stats. And in there, it tells you the percentage of every single person on PSN profiles that has gotten that trophy. So with that, you can have like your rarest trophies that are out there, like what your rank is across all PSN profile users. And then inside the PlayStation 4 itself, if you go into the trophy menu, you can see the percentage of all gamers who have gotten that trophy. And so you can kind of look at how rare stuff is and see percentages of stuff. And it is very, very low. Platinum trophies are like 1 to 5% of all gamers get them. Yeah. Definitely.
Cool. Well, let's move on to last question for the night in regards to trophies. What innovations would you like to see with trophy systems or achievement systems?
So Xbox kind of started this. There are certain achievements that are like the points values kind of don't matter, but when you unlock them, they have a little diamond that like shines to let you know that like this specific achievement is more special than others. And I think something like that would be kind of cool. It's like, this is a really hidden gem that you've unlocked, and PlayStation doesn't do anything with that. So I'd like to see Sony kind of adopt that. And a second point, since I'm still talking, is like percentage complete or tracking, live tracking of where you're at with trophies. So like, kill 25,000 this, actually look and see how many you've killed, so you can get that constant like feedback as to where you are with it. Right. So complete the entire game on the hardest difficulty. If you've completed 6 out of 10, it should say 60% of the game. So you'd have like a bar that says 60%. So that'd be kind of cool.
Before I say what I think I would like to see the innovations, I have another kind of quick sub question. Do you want to see trophy system on the Switch?
Yes, please. All right. That would drive me awesome.
Yeah, I think I agree, only because the aforementioned like cater to multiple game styles. Yeah. And just leave it off of certain games or make it really minimum for certain games if they really don't want to ruin the experience, like Breath of the Wild. If they do, one of the innovations I want to see is, and I think the Switch would be perfect for this, is like if there's some way that they can do it where they can like track literal console based achievements. So things like how many miles have you traveled with your Switch? Or how many games, how many steps did you take while playing, or something like that. Like things that they could actually potentially track with the hardware of the console itself. You couldn't do that with the PlayStation, you couldn't do that with the Xbox, but things like that. You know, I mean, they could even have their own systems. I can't, you know, how many times have you hit the X button? Would be a really cool thing for them to track. Like, you know, hit the X button, you know, 200,000 times, you know. It would be just interesting to see kind of tracking those like little statistics and giving you achievements based off of those. So
Funny,
I'd like to see them.
You've reminded me, like, because of the lack of achievement system on the Switch, people have gravitated towards their game time. Like how long they've played something. And it's funny because there was a bug that erased your playtime after a year. It didn't erase it, but it didn't display it. So like Breath of the Wild, since the Switch has now been out a year, said, and I looked at mine, it actually said, you've played 0 hours. And I was like, well, there goes that. Right? But they've since patched it. Now there's new firmware that has now recovered that. So it wasn't lost, but it was just kind of funny. The whole internet went nuts. It was like, oh no, I lost my hours played because there's no achievement.
There's no other way
to fall
of
back on.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Like, it'd be awesome to have miles and steps, and it'd be cool.
The other thing, or how many times have you used one configuration over the other?
Oh yeah, handheld mode versus
like handheld mode versus if they could find a way to track that, that'd be sweet. And then just kind of another thing, I'd like to see more achievement systems added to other things not related to gaming. So like Audible.com, for example, they have badges you can get. With audiobooks. And it's an achievement system. I'd like to see that with some other.
How many Netflix shows did you watch?
Yeah.
How many hours of PlayStation View have you consumed?
Yeah, exactly. Like what? Yeah, I don't know. How many sci-fi Blu-rays shows have you watched? Yeah, things like that. Like I wanted to get like nitty gritty specific so that I can feel good about myself for various things. I really want an achievement that says you finished paying off your student loans.
Oh, that'd be nice.
It's just boo.
Yeah, Alex, my wife, we paid hers off and we get a little mail, like a letter in the mail. So we could theoretically frame that and hang it up. Like, we're done. We could make that a thing.
Cool. All right, y'all. That is, I think, our conversation for the day. A couple footnotes we're going to link off to that Business Financial or the Financial Post article. We're going to link off to a Cracked article that has a list of 10 of the most insane video game achievements that they could find.
Stupid difficult.
As like a side note, the one, you can read, it's their content, so go read their content. But the one I will say, there is a Rock Band 2 game for the Xbox 360. Is that what it is? Okay, all right. Yeah, there's an achievement in that, and it's called Bladder of Steel. You literally have to play a 7-hour playlist of songs without pausing or failing.
Failing a song on that. Yeah. Imagine you get like 6 hours and 45 minutes in.
Again, I was going to say, like,
fail a song.
Exactly. That's the thing, is like you have to not only do this perfectly, but it's a 7-hour commitment at least. That's if you do it perfectly. Yeah. So it's called Bladder of Steel. I thought it's a pretty funny, it's talking about funny names for achievements. That's a pretty funny one. So that's just a teaser for you. Go check out that article. They've got a whole bunch of other achievements that are just insane for various games that you may or may not have played. Yeah. So we're linking off to that. We're linking off to the Financial Post article. And you guys know where to find us. 80-bit Podsmash. No funny letters. No funny business. All one word at Twitter, at Facebook, at Instagram.
And 80bitpodsmash.com. That's our landing site where you can see everything about us, who we are, and as well as links to iTunes and Google Play for your subscription purposes. Please go to iTunes, subscribe to us, hit the subscribe button, leave us a review. It's how we get noticed. It's the single most important way to do it. If you see us on YouTube, there's a little bell icon. Hit that so you get notified whenever a new episode drops every Monday at midnight. And keep in track with us. Tell us what your favorite achievements are. Tell us what your most frustrating things are, how many hours you've spent. Tell us if you think we're nuts and our trophies are stupid completely, or if you're like Termite and want to hunt for every one of them.
Yeah, our challenge for the week is take a screenshot of your gamer score in Xbox or achievement list trophy level in PlayStation. Send it to us, post it on Reddit.